back to another video, guys. We got some parts. Holy moly. So I got a stator cover for the YZ85, all in black. Got the case saver, the word for it, the cover, and it just goes right there. And then that mounts up right there. Came with a nice gasket, but it's kind of bent, but it should straighten out. Came with 8 mils, some nice new 8 mils, so I can get rid of these old Phillips. Came with some stickers, which I love. And if you see here, I got some Westscope stickers because that's right, we got our piston in the mail. We have our piston ring. I don't know the main name, but like the little clips. And this thing, I opened the thing to put this in there because that I had to reuse. It's still fine. But this thing, I forgot the name. I think the rod or whatever. And then this beautiful, beautiful piston. Look at that. That looks beautiful. For example, the old one got chips missing compared to the new one. It's gonna look so good with the new jug. It's gonna look so good. Yeah, it looks shines if I get it. Oh, it did shine. But yeah, Wesco stuff and the stator cover. I just bolted this on, not tight at all, but it looks really good on there. I could throw it on because I have this gasket, but I need the seal for that crank to put that whole stator and everything in. So I'm not even going to torque that down. I'll probably take it off here in a second. I need a head gaskets to put on the piston and stuff, so we have to wait for that stuff to come in the mail. Boys, do we have some more parts for the YZ85s. These actually were supposed to come in tomorrow, but they came in today, so that's always nice. Our gasket kit, back tire chain adjusters, as I was telling you guys. Gasket kit came in 2. We have our seals, other gaskets, and then our top end gaskets and seals. So let's open these up. Holy crap, do these things look good and are gonna perform good. Look at those. So what these do is you put them in the swing arm, and then you put the bolt through the tire, and then when your chain gets loose, you screw that in, and it moves this back and tightens your chain. So yeah, pop this one side, that other, because that doesn't have the name, and yeah, looks pretty nice. I don't know why my phone is like not focusing. Hold on. See, my phone's been kind of acting up. It like films good and then doesn't, but now it like films nice. But anyway, we got our gaskets. Let's go throw this on the bike. This is your chain tightener, so let's put this on. Alright, they're on both sides. I need to wait until I get the chain on to get these like actually adjusted right. But that'll wait until I get that on. One right there. We need that seal. Just find it in that whatever one fits. Plop it in there. We can throw our stator on and the gasket with our cover. Boom, found the right gasket. Just slightly pound it in. Now it's all in there. Ooh, I just realized with the lighting, I kind of messed it up. But it should be fine. Now let's throw the stator on. It's on there just like that with the 2 bolts. We're just going to put a drop of Loctite on them. Okay, now that we got that on, now we got this on. Just got to put this nut on there and tighten it up. I got that installed. I got that new seal out, and I got that seal out, and we're about to put this in there. They should just slide right in. We got that seal in, the crank seal, and all this on. Time for that. But first, let's put on this cover. I'm going to use the gasket that came with the stator cover. And then we'll have the one that came in the gasket kit for a spare. But we're going to put a dot of Loctite on all the other bolts holding this on. And then we'll get it on. Alright, this is on. This needs to get on now. We need to take the seat and the gas tank off so we have more room. There's these 8 mils, 8 mil, and then I think like 2 10 mils. Sorry for my voice crack. Seat and gas tank off. That took me like 10 minutes because I lost the dang 8 millimeter. But anyway, we got that off. A little more room, so we're going to take this hose off. There we go, hose is off. Just had to loosen that hose clamp. Now, I'm going to take these out because I put them in here so I didn't lose them. So, give me 1 sec. Alright, now we got our piston ring on. Now, you're going to take one of these clips and install it on one of the sides before you put on the crank. Got our gasket on. I'm going to put a little bit of oil on here. Alright, gasket's on. Piston is on. And the piston ring. Now it's just time for the jug, which we'll do that in a sec. Alright, time to put the new cylinder on. Oil the piston just a little bit. Should not hurt the motor, but it will help for install on the jug. The jug is on. Before I put those nuts on, I'm going to put the Kickstarter on and do 3 cycles just to make sure it's running good or working. Alright, I did a few cycles. It's working good. Now let's put those bolts on. Alright, we got these bolts tightened down. I have a head on the way, so we can't do anything more to this, but we can throw the clutch thingy on here. So let's do that. Got the gasket on this thing. Got that foot pedal off. Now let's put it on the thing. I'll get these bolts tightened down. I'll get back to you guys. There we go. We got the motor almost all together. I got this ordered, this ordered, this ordered, that ordered, and then a kicker and a skid plate I have to order. 2 new O-rings to put on. Just like that, they're on. Alright, slides. I didn't notice I had the camera that close. Slides up. Hold on. The exhaust is on with those 2 springs, that bolt, and there should be a bracket there, but I don't know if it's this new jug, but they do not line up anymore with that bracket, so yeah. I don't think we need it. It ain't going nowhere. Hey guys, before we do anything more to the YZ85, I think I need to clean up my room. Got stuff just all spread out. That table's filthy. And I'll get back to you guys when I'm done. Let's throw this back on before I clean the room. This part slides in there, goes through there. You just put a little cotter key through with this. And yeah, pretty easy. Foot pedal is on. That easy. And I realized my phone's gonna die. So I'm gonna charge my phone and clean my room. I'll get back to you guys when I'm done with that. Alright, my phone's charged and my room's clean. So now let's throw on some more parts. We have shifter that we can throw on, hoses that I took off so I had more room. Let's throw on, and sprocket and the chain. And then that stuff's gonna have to wait. Let's throw these on. This is a 10 mil. These are all 8 mils. Before and after. When I get the cylinder head, I'll mount that up, and when I get the water pump cover, I'll hook that up on the other side. So the shifter on, that just sits right there on the shift knob. So yeah, I'll get back to you guys when I'm done. Got that shifter on. Now let's put this on. This just sits right in here. I can't. Hold on, I gotta take that off. But anyway, this sits in there. Then I got, this is a used but almost brand new sprocket. Put that in there. I lost the bolt, but it won't come off with this guard on. But I'm gonna get the bolt in the future, and then we can put that chain on and get those adjusters adjusted right. Got that off. Slide that in there. And then slide that. Now we can put the chain on. Don't forget, I am getting this bolt, so I better not get any hate or any, get the bolt, you need it, because I am getting it. Now we can put on this chain and get it adjusted right, so let's do that now. That sucked, but I pre-cut the chain. It took me like an hour, but let's throw it on the bike. Okay, my phone's at 2%, so I got to do this fast, but chain is tight. I got the adjusters all mounted, and yeah, I think I'll put that on back tomorrow.
2,000 years later.
Boys, I'm sorry for not giving you guys an update, but today I went to the store and got coolant. I had oil sitting around, and I had some of my brother's old gas laying around. So I'm like, hey, I want to get it running so when my other parts come in, I know what to fix. So, let's give you an update. I threw on the clutch. I let those clutch pads soak. The clutch is shot. I thought I blew the crank because it was like, my clutch is shot. So that's going to have to be replaced. The seal in the water pump, I didn't replace. And it's leaking. So we had to replace that. We're going to have to replace that when we get the water pump and clutch cover and the oil cap. Kicker I have to order. Skid plate I have to order. And what else was it? The carburetor was peeing gas. Like just straight when you turned it on, it felt like it was just going straight through, down through the overflow. I cleaned the carb. Was still doing it. The jets were clogged. I did that. Still was, peeing gas. So I put my brother's 112 Super Mini carb on there. He has a lot of parts that still fit my bike. And he even said I could use his clutch for now. Such a happy dog. He even said I could use his clutch, but I said no. Because if I break that $1,000 clutch he has on his bike, then I owe my brother $1,000. And I still have no clutch. So, we're on the third heat cycle. And we have my brother's carb on there. And that's leaking. And the clutch is almost shot. But in the fourth, I'm just going to do a couple laps. See if I can't get my mom to film or something. But that's pretty much how we are. Okay, boys, we gotta talk. Last clip you saw was when I had my old carb and it was peeing gas. We put my brother's carburetor on here. It ran better, but still not running good. And I think I might know the problem. It's probably this 2-year-old race gas from my brother's old dirt bike before he blew it up. That's been sitting for 2 years. So we're going to replace that in the future, like when I get the money to buy gas. And if it's still running bad, we're going to clean his carburetor because his doesn't pee gas. Then after that, if it still's not running good, it might be my reeds or his carburetor is jetted for another bike maybe. Probably, hopefully, going to fix how it runs. And then we're going to do the clutch and the seals and all that. So that's how it sits. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe. The YZ build is almost done, but it's not close to done. And we're still going to get those covers and kicker and skid plate and all that. We're going to get this thing running good. So stay tuned. See y'all next week.